What a night of NBA action. My goodness. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Somebody was celebrating last night.
Who?
Jen, you hear a voice? Them Seagulls, they pulled one out in overtime.
Well, we don't really care about them anymore.
We don't.
We care about the team in the basement. The Los Angeles Clippers have now beaten the Los Angeles Lakers 11 straight times, and they kicked your team right back down the stairs into the play-in tournament last night.
And they won 11
How could
straight.
that be?
So where's the ring for that? Where's the ring? Where's the banner that you get to hang for?
I think they're playing ring around the rosy with your team. They just run rings around you.
You want to see our rings that we won? You want to see our championship ring? We already got one.
Wait, you mean the cubic zirconium one that you won?
That y'all tried to get, but y'all blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, we did.
Come on, Jen. I'm ready.
Shannon, I wouldn't be shocked if my Pelicans and your Lakers meet in that play-in tournament, by the way.
You already
All
know
right,
what's
the Lakers. Yeah. And we're coming for you. Because your Lakers, they couldn't get it done last night. True, they were on back-to-back, but both losing efforts. Last night, final score, 125-118. LeBron finishes with a game-high 33, but he only had 3 at halftime. Anthony Davis had 17 in the game. The Lakers trailed by as many as 24 points in this loss. LeBron called it, quote, one of the toughest games we've had all year. Shannon, who's most to blame for this Lakers loss?
The Clippers. It seemed like every time they play the Lakers, Skip, they can't miss from 3. Remember the last time they played, they made 15 threes in the first half. Now they open the game up 7-10 for 3 in the first quarter.
You do bring out the very best in the Clippers.
Russ hit 2 threes. He walks into a jumper, and so he gets it going. And then everybody's like, well, man, if Russ hitting threes, I know it's going to be our night tonight. And then boom, boom, boom. Every time the Lakers made a run, the Clippers would snuff it out and go on a run of their own. They the first quarter, they was down like 13, 14 points. They come back and even take a lead on a Troy Brown Jr. 3 in the corner.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they hit 2 more threes. Okay, the second half, they're up by 24. They come all the way back, cut it to 6. And then boom, boom, 2 threes in a row, you're back up to 12. And they really never felt threatened from that point on. And that's what happened. Norman Powell, remember, Skip, the last game they played him. He played sensational.
Yeah.
Again, he had been struggling. He played sensational last night. He outscored the Lakers bench by himself, 27-25. And then when you chip in with Bones Highland, bombing threes, Terrence Mann going 4 of 6, 4 of 5, 2 of 2 from 3, and 10 points. What are you going to do? Russ really didn't play. Russ played 21 minutes. I don't think did he play the fourth quarter? He didn't play much of the third quarter.
Played 5 minutes in the second half.
But the damage was already done.
Yeah.
And then you look at what the other guys came in. Kawhi was efficient, 9 of 17, 4 of 7 from 3. But I just, for whatever reason, the Clippers get up more so for the Lakers than they do any other team. They shoot the ball better against the Lakers than they do any other team. Yes, Skip, I'm not going to use the back-to-back. Because the Lakers, you should have won those 3 games that you lost on the missed free throws by AD. You should have won that game that you had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter.
You did.
And then who cares if this is a back-to-back? You put yourself in this situation that you're going to have a back-to-back. You looked at the schedule. Hell, I'm sure everybody looked at the schedule like, damn, down the stretch, man, we got a back-to-back in 3 of the last 4 ball games. Damn, how that's going to play out for us? Go ahead and take care of business, and it doesn't matter. But they didn't take care of business, and they find themselves in this situation. Skip, LeBron James, and I don't think it's hyperbole when I say I've seen probably 90-95% of LeBron James's game. That was the worst half of basketball that I had ever seen him play. Now, I'm saying a half. Now, maybe he's played when you combine that half with the first half with the second half or a second half with the first, and you might say, well, he's played worse games. But for a half of basketball, I'm going to need somebody to show me a game in which he's played worse than what he played last night. And then in the second half, Skip, I don't know, have we ever seen him play a better half? 12 of 14, 30 points, 16 and 14 in the fourth quarter, 16 in the third, 14 in the fourth. But it wasn't nearly enough. He needed someone else to come along and go for the ride with him. But when you look at Kawhi 25, Zubac had 17, Russell had 14, and then you get 27, 14, and 10 from 3 guys off the bench. It was too much to overcome. I'm not going to use the excuse, Skip, as a back-to-back. And, they played it, coy, a game-time decisions. And hell, from the looks of it, they like, hey, y'all should just go ahead and rest and try to roll the dice Friday and Sunday.
True.
But I'm going to give the Clippers their credit because the Clippers played extremely well, and they deserve to win this ball game. Because every time the Lakers should try to make a game of it, they would go boom, boom, boom with 3 and 2, and a 6-point lead went back to 12, went back to 16, went back to 18. They cut it down to 8, 9 points. But there's only like 30 seconds left in the ball game. So I didn't make too much out of that, but give the Clippers credit. That's who's most responsible for the Lakers losing this ball game, was the Clippers and how well they shot the ball early.
Okay. I hear everything you just said. But after I slept on this, I decided that the game I watched from start to finish last night is the weirdest NBA game I have ever witnessed on many levels. Okay, let's start with the start, your first level, which is back-to-back. Long road trip, tough flights.
4 games in 6
They
nights.
got stuck in Minnesota because it's snowing and they had to stay overnight when they weren't planning to stay overnight. Then they go to Utah and it's another snowstorm and they were trying to de-ice the plane. This would be not last night, but the night before.
Yeah, Tuesday.
And they were a couple of hours late leaving Utah to get back to Los Angeles. They get back, land around 2 o'clock in the morning. It messes up your sleep cycle. Blah, blah, blah. I got all that.
Yeah.
I've been doing this way too long. I know this league. I know it from the 1970s. Trust me on this.
When they fly a commercial.
Yeah. In the 70s and through the 80s, when I was really all over the NBA, covering it just every day, day in, day out, lots of big playoff series, nobody ever even mentioned back-to-back. Trust me on this.
No,
it wasn't even an issue because nobody spoke about it.
Right.
I never even looked at the schedule to think, well, wait a second, they just played last night in Denver or wherever
Right.
they were. No. You just played, and I'm going to say it one more time, Michael Jordan 9 times played all 82 games, and a 10th time he played 81, and 11th time he played 80 games. They just played.
They just played.
Because when you played, you just played. You just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not an option. You're a little banged up. You got a game Sunday. You just suck it up.
Yeah.
You ice and you take a shot or whatever you have to do.
Well, you covered the league when they played preseason. Remember they used to play all the preseason games?
They played 6 preseason games.
They did.
Okay. So there was no such thing as load management.
Nope.
I wasn't even aware of the term back-to-back because nobody spoke about it. And yet, the more, you know how the mind works.
Yeah.
The more you speak about it, the more you plant seeds of doubt in your mind of, oh, no, it's a back-to-back. It's a back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give LeBron a break here because he is 38 years of age and he has high mileage on his body. But we're coming to the close, to the finish line. And I was happy and impressed and admired the fact that both he and Anthony, probably just 30 minutes before tip-off, said, okay, let's go. This was a very big game because it's a pay me now or pay me later kind of a game.
Yep.
If you can finish in the 6 seed or maybe the 5 seed, then you avoid having to play in the play-in immediately after the close of the regular season. You might get 6 days off. You might even get 7 days off, depending on when they schedule your first playoff game.
Right.
Could LeBron use that at this stage? You better believe it. So he knew, I got to suck it up and go. Given what you just told me about first half versus second half, I'm going to go with you and raise you on both of them. It was the worst half of basketball I've ever watched, and I think I've watched more LeBron games than you have because I can't remember missing a LeBron game.
Right.
It was shockingly off kilter. He was completely out of it in the first half. How does LeBron freaking James end up with, 3 points and 4 turnovers?
Yep.
And the turnovers were like, you've lost your mind. You're not there. You left your mind in Salt Lake City, right?
Yep.
What are you doing? What are you thinking? And yet, he turns the worst half of basketball into, I'm going to go right over the edge on this one. I thought under the circumstances, given his stage and age, given the magnitude of this game as it impacts their playoff chances, I thought he played his greatest half of basketball against a team that has owned his team and has now obviously won 11 straight games. Shannon, it was underrated because they could never get back in the game.
Correct.
They cut it. I got it cut to 7. You say 6? Maybe I
6
missed.
or 7.
Okay, they cut it to 7 at one point in the third quarter. But to your point, every time they cut it, every time they made a huge run, somebody on the Clippers, Bones Highland, would make another shot, and you'd say, well, that's just too good. It's a make-or-miss league, and they're making everything. And weird people are making them, even though Norman Powell, Stormin' Norman, he sure looks like the sixth man of the year to me, because you want to talk about a professional scorer, that's what he is.
Yes.
He looks a little weird because he's a little bow-legged.
Yeah.
He looks a little awkward, and he doesn't look that athletic until he's got a ball in his hands, and then you can't stop him.
Yes.
Look at what he did last night. He shot 10 free throws. He attempted 10 and made all 10.
Yes.
He shot 5 more free throws than any Laker shot because he was attacking the basket.
Yes.
Okay, so help me out here. How did LeBron James go from playing 38 minutes at Utah, including in overtime, in which he had to really reach down because he
scored 9 in OT.
He had to redeem himself because he missed the left-handed layup that could have stopped the overtime and ended the game.
Yep.
And it's redemption. And he was great, and I'm sure he was a little gassed. Okay, wouldn't it be predictable that he might play the second half last night that he played in the first half?
Yes.
And then he would just hit the wall.
Run out of gas.
At halftime, he'd say, guys, I'm shot. I'm spent. I am done. You guys got to pick me up here in the second half. Shannon, it went completely the other way.
It did.
How at halftime can a 38-year-old say, I'm going to reach down. I'm going to jump start. You can't do it. No. I don't know how you do that and play the greatest half. I'm going to show you, and you saw it, but for those who didn't stay up late enough to see this, I want to show you the 12 shots that LeBron James made in the second half of a game they almost got back into, right? They came real close to putting enough pressure on where they break them. You know, there's a point of no return where if you cut it to 3 maybe, all of a sudden the Clippers crumble and break. Okay, watch what LeBron does. This is in the second half after playing the worst half you've ever seen. A completely out of it first half leads to this. Okay, he'd been missing his threes, and he finally got one to fall. Well, you know how he goes. It's like, that felt good. I like this. I like this. I'm logoing. I'm going to logo, and I busted another one on him. And then he's got this. I'm just going to take it. This is he still drives it better than anybody in the game. I swear to you, there's nobody who can play bully ball any better than this. You can't stop that because he's ambidextrous. Mm-hmm. That was an easy left-handed layup. And then here he goes again, and that was a goaltend. Okay, here we go again, and can't stop him from the hoop. And here we go again. He just beat him off the inbounds. That's Clippers' fault. And then here we go again. Can't stop the freight train. And here he goes again. You know what? He's starting to feel it. Oh, there's the third 3. And then here he goes again. And that's swoop to the hoop. That's vintage, right? And here he goes again. Another 3. And he's got that because he can get hot now.
Yeah,
he can get hot. I don't think he's a very good three-point shooter, but on any kind of given occasion, on any night when one falls and it feels good to him, he's like, okay, I got this. He scored 30 points in the second half. Is that right? 30?
Yeah. 12 of 14 shooting.
12 of 14? So help me out. He goes from 3 to 30?
3 to 30 at 3.
Okay. And then I'm looking at the fourth quarter and I'm saying, well, they had a chance. They cut it to 7. Then all of a sudden it goes back to 11 going to the fourth quarter. And guess who? I guess you'd call Bones Highland the backup point guard for the Clippers. I think that's what he was acquired to be from Denver at the trade deadline.
Or the backup, too, because Terrence Mann.
I think he's called the backup point guard, but whatever. He comes in the fourth quarter and makes 4 out of 5 shots, including 3 out of 4 threes. Yeah. He makes 3 out of 4 free throws, and he scores 14 points in the fourth quarter to equal the 14 scored by LeBron, who went 5 of 5 and 2 of 2 from 3 in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Well, if Bones Highland doesn't do that, maybe we're having a different conversation. Right. Bones Highland.
And did you see the threes that he was hitting?
Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're just ridiculous because the kid's got talent. Right. I think Jerry West had an eye on him like, wait a second, there's one of those that you don't see coming.
And for whatever reason, he fell out of favor in Denver.
He just couldn't get enough run. He just couldn't get enough reps. And I think he rubbed Mike Malone the wrong way because he groused about it. He made waves about it. Okay, so now he's a Clipper, and they score again because they've got a really good young player that they can develop. Okay, now back to the start of the game. LeBron comes out completely low energy.
Yeah, he's too passive.
Which didn't shock me because I'm thinking, I'm with you. My first thought, I think I tweeted about this. Hey, if you can't go, you can't go.
Right.
If you're out of gas, you're out of gas. And I was like you, maybe it would have been better if he just said, guys, I just can't do it tonight. Right. Not that his foot's sore. It's just that he gave too much the night before. Okay. He's got like the equivalent of 200,000 miles on his body, right?
Yeah,
on a car.
Yeah.
Maybe 300,000. Okay. So the point is, the whole team, they feed off his energy, and he was without energy. And then the other shock to me is Russell Westbrook comes out, and I predicted 6 turnovers, and I predicted he would be hell-bent and out of control, attacking the rim. And instead, he played completely in control to start the game.
Yep.
And he shot his first 2 threes with conviction and in rhythm, and he didn't rush. It looked good to me, and I was highly impressed because he makes his first 4 jump shots, but he makes 2 threes, and he is giving it to LeBron. Yeah. And you can't tell me that him giving it to LeBron didn't get under LeBron's skin at halftime until LeBron said, okay, watch this.
You remember, I think it was the fourth.
He went after it. He went to the bench.
You said I was looking at him on the bench?
He had an and one on a break, and he circled right around. Because remember,
went out of his way.
Because they're sitting where the Lakers usually sit.
Correct.
And he goes out of his way to walk down the line of the bench and stop and stare Russ down. Right. There was also a turnover in the third quarter where LeBron just threw it away. He had 2 turnovers in the third quarter.
He thought it might have been Troy Brown.
I think it was Troy Brown. So he throws it to the bench. He throws it to the Clippers bench, and Russ catches it and says sarcastically to him, nice pass.
Right.
Well, you're asking for it.
And plus, Skip, if you notice, every time he make a jump shot, he was pointing at LeBron. Because at first, LeBron was like, okay, we're going to treat it like Golden State. I ain't coming out there. And he hits it. And then he hits another one. And then he walks into a 2. And so every time he pointing.
I think he was doing some gesture, but that's just me.
I don't think Bron took too kindly for that. But I also think Russ thinks that the reason why I'm not here is that you didn't no longer want me here. You wanted me here. You wanted me here in the beginning, but you didn't want me here in the end. And that's why I'm across the hallway.
So I was impressed that Russ reined in his emotions enough. He channeled his anger enough that it became positive instead of negative. But here's the punchline to this. Going into the second quarter, he started to turn back into Westbrook.
Yeah.
He shot an air ball, and he winds up turning it over 3 times in the first half. And guess what Ty Lue did? You come sit over here.
You're right.
Right? Okay. So I admire that because maybe Ty Lue can figure out how to get the best out of Russ because he got the very best out of him in the first quarter, but only in the first quarter. Right. Second quarter starts.
Well, Skip, I was hoping he hit a couple of them, and then he feels good about himself and just shoot about it.
I tweeted about this. I said LeBron should just keep daring him to shoot because his numbers would tell you, because he came in ranked 148th out of 149 players from 3, his numbers would scream, just let him shoot.
Correct.
Hope he keeps jacking him up because probably he's going to miss 6 of his next 7.
Right.
Okay? Well, he didn't get to miss 6 of his next 7 because once he shot an air ball, Ty Lue said, that's enough. To your point, he played 5 minutes in the second half. So a guy who sort of won the first quarter barely played in the second half.
Right.
And scored 2 points in the second half.
And
really?
Skip, and to your point, you were saying something earlier that the way LeBron played the second half, you thought he was going to play the first half.
Yeah.
I thought that, you know what, I'm a little tired. I'm going to get these other guys going, and then when I get my rhythm, I catch my breath, now I'm there. But by the time that happened, Skip, he only had 2 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
He only took 6 shots. He had a free throw in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So that's his 3 points. So he's 1 for 6. And so he's thinking, okay, AD, you get going. Okay, some of the other guys, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt doesn't play a whole lot of minutes. He starts the game, but he doesn't play a whole lot of minutes.
Okay.
And so LeBron was probably thinking, I'm going to let these guys get going. I'm going to catch my breath, get a rhythm, and then I'll be fine.
Okay.
But by the time he got that rhythm, Skip, they're already 20 points down.
They're 20 points
because
down.
Because they go down at the half, they were down 71-52.
Yep. Okay, last point. Your biggest concern about your team going forward, the biggest X factor in all of basketball is AD, who really the last 2 games AD has stood for always disappointing. He didn't play poorly last night. He just didn't assert himself.
He got outplayed by Zubats.
Yeah. He got out-hustled and outplayed by Big Zoo. Used to be a Laker, and yet he shouldn't be in AD's stratosphere.
No.
Anthony should, I'm not going to say destroy him, but he should.
He should.
He should dominate him.
Yes.
He just should. He's just that much better and quicker, stronger. All of the above. And the numbers aren't terrible for Anthony because he winds up with 17 and 11. But Zubats winds up with 17 and 13. And you could just, your eye test told you, wait a minute,
right.
The Clippers guy is outplaying you, right? Okay. It's not acceptable, especially on a night that it was clear from jump that LeBron was a little out of it.
Right.
So now you need your co-star to pick it up.
Yes.
Austin Reeves got off to a shaky start, but he had a very sneaky, quiet. He scored 20 points. So I don't know how you could ask more from him, right?
Since he's been in the starting lineup, I got no qualms whatsoever.
Well,
because I know, he turns the ball over. Yeah, he had some careless turnovers. But you know what? I don't question his effort. I don't question his desire. I don't question his IQ. I know he's trying. He's doing the best he possibly can. But in that first half, I needed AD. In the first half, I needed AD to get. I'm not saying give me 30 like LeBron gave me in the second half, but can he give me 15? Can he give me like 18?
Assert yourself.
Yes.
Show that you care enough that your motor is going to run hot for a crucial game.
Right.
Okay, so the Lakers lose the first half by 19. They win, thanks to LeBron, the second half by 12.
Right.
My takeaway from the game is weirdly positive because of the second half, because not only did they not quit, they actually made a great run that got shot down by a team that just couldn't miss.
That's the thing. Every run, every time the Lakers would cut it, because Skip, they took the lead, what was it, 30, 31, 30, 30, 33, 32, something like that. And then they go boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, it's back to a 9-point lead when they just had a 1-point lead.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, damn. It just seemed like in the second half, they could never get over that hump where they tied the ball game, Skip. And now all of a sudden, the Clippers like, man, we just had a 24-point lead.
Then the pressure would flip on the Clippers.
They would just come down and make big shot after big shot after big shot.
Whew.
But you saw GOAT what he capable of. You saw what GOAT capable of.
That was a GOAT-ish second half.
Just imagine in a 7-game series, there are no back-to-backs in a 7 game.
No.
Could you see a man averaging 35?
For that. Lakers still clinging to that 7th spot in the West, Shannon, but
clinging.
Same record as my Pelicans.
Uh-oh.
We stepping on your
39
fingers.
in the loss column.
We stepping on your fingers, Jen. You better let go of that 7th spot.
We're coming. Oh, no. Okay, still to come, guys. I'm going to get your take on Angel Reese. She has now responded to those controversial White House visit comments. Plus, did the Mavericks really have no chance at keeping Jalen Brunson? Let's discuss when Undisputed returns. Angel Reese has now responded to First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, first inviting LSU and Iowa to the White House, then walking back those comments. Reese said on the I Am Athlete podcast, quote, "If we were to lose, we wouldn't be getting invited to the White House. I don't accept the apology because you said what you said. They can have that spotlight. We'll go to the Obamas. We'll go see Michelle. We'll go see Barack." Skip, I'm going to start with you on this one. What's your reaction to Angel Reese's comments?
Shannon, I cannot blame her.
Okay.
Look, big picture, for the sake of women's basketball coming off the most watched women's basketball game in history, do I wish the negativity would subside? I do. But in my view, my gut feeling is that what our First Lady said on Monday came across as this unspoken, between the lines, implied racism.
Right.
It smacked of, oh, poor Caitlin had to endure that shameful taunting by Angel Reese. So let's bring poor Caitlin's white Iowa team to the White House and celebrate them too. It smacked of that. it came across to me as this unintentional, unwitting, sort of naive white racism. That's what it came across as. And as Angel said yesterday, her first point was, if we were to lose, we would not be getting invited to the White House, a point you made right away. Bingo. Then number two, she says, I remember she made a comment about both teams should be invited because of sportsmanship. And I'm like, this is Angel, and I'm like, are you saying that because of what I did? It smacked of that. It came across to me like that. And yet Angel said she didn't, she said, I don't accept her apology. Well, the truth is, Jill Biden did not apologize.
Right.
Her press secretary reissued a statement that was just an amended statement that omitted Iowa. Oh, we look forward to having LSU at the White House.
Right.
Well, she didn't say, I'm so sorry for what I said. She just simply said, we look forward to having only LSU come to the White House,
right.
and no Iowa mentioned.
Right.
Well, so let's not go so far as to say, I don't accept her apology, because there was no apology. And the press secretary said that Jill Biden was just trying to celebrate all the great success of Title IX and what an historic game this was. I'm sorry, she was there. Jill Biden was there.
Yeah.
It was not an historic game,
yes.
because it was a wipeout.
Yes.
It was 102-85.
Right.
LSU proved without a doubt
yes.
they were the better team.
Yes.
They shot the ball better. They rebounded the ball better. They defended at a higher level than Iowa could defend.
Yes.
So it was not a great game.
No.
To me, it was a great performance by LSU.
Right.
And Caitlin had a great run through the tournament, and none of us doubt her greatness.
Right, right.
But she got outplayed in the second half by Alexis Morris, who guarded her and then outperformed her on the offensive end. I'm sorry, Iowa did nothing to deserve an invitation to the White House. And even Caitlin Clark herself said the other day, we don't want to go because we didn't earn it. We didn't deserve it.
Right.
So in the end, I just can't blame Angel for saying what she said, to the point that she finally said, we'll just go visit the Obamas. Right. Okay, great. I got you. Slippery slope here, though, is she does play for a team. And I don't know if her teammates feel exactly the same way she does.
Well, no coach doesn't.
Bingo.
That's not her call whether or not they go or do not go to the White House.
It could be her individual personal call.
Right,
yes.
right. But that's not her call.
No.
And we know this. We know her head coach is a very staunch supporter of the previous president. That's why so how's he
Well,
going to...
by the way, that same head coach, as you pointed out a few days ago, had nothing good to say about Brittany Griner.
Right. That's my point.
Right?
Skip, and because of all the controversy, she's been able to skate up under the radar with all the slippery things that she's done over the last, but that's neither here nor there. This is about Angel. Hey, for me, Skip, and I want to say this, I'm not sure that it's Angel's call whether or not the team goes to visit the White House.
Yeah.
She might say, I'm not going.
Yes, she could.
And then the team travel on. I'm not sure her head coach is going to be there. So that's going to be a bad look if they show up and the head coach doesn't, because she's not the biggest Biden supporter.
Okay.
That said, Skip, I do not believe what Dr. Biden said is unforgivable. Yes, she was wrong for uttering the possibility that the winning team and the losing team could be in the White House in attendance. She was wrong for that. But is that unforgivable? Was she so gross in what she said that there's no possible way Angel Reese can find it in her heart and say, you know what? She was wrong. She made a mistake. Because forgiveness is not for Dr. Biden, it's for you. You still in bondage. You still letting this, you're not even enjoying your moment.
No.
You are the MOP. You are a champion, a first-time champion for LSU. And you're not enjoying that moment because you're harboring this sentiment towards Dr. Biden.
So you're saying she should just let it go?
Move on.
Okay.
Move on, Skip. It wasn't a great game because they scored the second most points ever in a national championship game.
It's 102.
102. The 103 was only topped by UNLV when they blew out Duke in, 1990? I think that was 90 when they blew them out.
Oh, you're talking about men?
Men or women.
Yes.
Men or women. That's the second most points ever been scored in a national championship game. But I think it's time to move on because it's overshadowing this sentiment that Because I think the thing, Skip, a lot of people is on her side because they realize that Dr. Biden was wrong in trying to invite Iowa. We know why she wanted to invite Iowa. It wasn't no sportsmanship. You play, you win, and you don't win, you move on. But I think now the tide might be shifting because everybody says, oh, come on, Angel, now. It's time to let it go.
Okay.
You made your point.
Yeah.
We agree with the point that you made.
She had a point to make. Yes.
But now it's time to move on and let everybody else move on. Go enjoy this victory, this hard-fought victory that you got. You ran the gauntlet. Nobody really gave you guys a chance outside of the people in your locker room.
Yep.
And you did the thing. You did that. But now it's time to move on. So continuously to keep this going, I don't accept her apology. Granted, she might not have apologized because that was the wording of a press secretary.
Yes.
Dr. Biden could have easily said, you know, guys, after looking back at it, I was wrong.
Could have.
And that would have been the right thing to do because you didn't have your press secretary extend the invite. Says, well, I think what we should do is ask Joe to invite, well, they're not going to say Joe, but Mr. President, to invite both teams. The press secretary didn't do that. You stepped before that. And I read, Skip, it was met with a smattering of boos when she actually uttered that. I think she was in Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
At the Capitol building?
Yeah. So for me, Skip, I just think, look, I get it. And we know there are a lot of African Americans that were very proud of what the Obamas were able to do. The first black president, 2-term, that goes without saying because I think that's a hell of an accomplishment for a president because we just saw what happened. You could easily be one and done. It's easy to flip the tide. And he came in with the recession. With that being said, Skip, I think, Angel, just let it go.
Okay.
It's time to let it go. You made your point, a very valid point. And you are the quintessential, you are the essence of what we want our young women, black women, to grow up to be.
Okay.
I love everything about you and how well you've spoken on this issue.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to put it to bed now.
Okay. But would you agree that she was the unspoken, implied focal point of the First Lady's original comments on Monday?
Yeah.
Like unspoken, it felt like it was sort of directed at Angel.
Well, she was the focal point of all the arrows that were being shot at LSU. There wasn't anything at Kim Mulkey or Morris or any of the others. It was just her because it was the gestures in which she did that Caitlin Clark had just done 48 hours ago. It was the ring. We saw this. Skip, I remember Joe Burrow came off the field. What was he doing in the national championship game?
Come on.
That's what everybody does that.
Okay.
Steph Curry was doing it. But it's like, okay, we want our women to be treated equal, but when they do things like the men, that's not ladylike. What? Stop it. She's a champion. She's celebrated. Do you know these women, when you go to college and you play a sport, you dream of being a national champion. That's what you dream of. And a lot of times, Skip, these men and women, they'll move around to go to a school that gives them a better opportunity to win that. She felt that she had a better opportunity to win the national championship at LSU than she did at Maryland. And Maryland is normally always in the postseason.
Pretty good, yep.
And so for me, Skip, I just think it's time to let it go. She's made a point, and it's a very valid point.
It is.
Dr. Biden, the First Lady, she was wrong in what she said. You don't extend the invitation. She took a lot of arrows, a lot of people saying really malicious things, and we know why they said it about her, because of her skin complexion, and we know who said it. The people that skin didn't match hers, and I get that. And all the blowback and the criticism that she received was unwarranted. But now, Skip, we're 3-4 days removed from this. It's time to let it go. Okay.
I will give you this. I mentioned this or got into it on my podcast yesterday. My only concern for Angel, who has great charisma, she's very good with the media.
Yes.
I think she's almost on a media tour now. Okay. My only concern is she admitted right after the game or acknowledged or volunteered that this is all about Twitter, that she's been carefully following her responses, replies on Twitter all year long, and I saved all my screenshots. She was responding back to people on Twitter. My concern was that she gets a little overamped and overfueled by a few people on Twitter, and all of a sudden she goes a little bit over the edge with her vitriol about this whole situation. I'm with her. I can't blame. I can't condemn.
But you know what, Skip? I think we're almost trained like that. Somebody can say 1,000. I mean, you have a post and somebody say 1,000 great things, but somehow our eyes will always automatically go to the one negative. I hate you. You make me sick.
You know what that is? That's called being human.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
And so I'm sure there are a lot of in those comments that says, girl, you Barbie, you doing your thing. I love the way you do. I love your bundles. I love your gel nails. I love the eyelashes.
Correct.
I love everything about you. I love how you represent strong, powerful black women.
I
love the way you speak.
Yep.
But it's that one.
Yep.
Go back to where you came from. You make me sick. That's not ladylike.
What was the thing? You're too hood. You're too ghetto.
Right.
All right.
I don't know how and why we're wired like that, Skip. But it seems like we can become very modest when somebody, say something good about it. We're very humble. And the minute, what you talking about?
And it sticks in your craw. And you can't get it out.
It does.
How dare you?
People it's hard.
Yeah.
But I think because she's new to this newfound fandom that she has.
Yeah, good point.
I think now she understands that now they're going to start to come and they're going to start to try to get you out of your character. They're going to try to start to say things and make you lash back out at them.
As I always say, they try to redefine who you are.
Yes, yes.
Whew.
I've said it about other athletes, and it applies here with Angel as well. The Twitter sphere does not have your best interest at heart. I certainly hope she has some good mentors surrounding her, helping her navigate this situation, guys, because I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of her in the years to come. She has a very bright future on and off the court. All right, Mark Cuban, gentlemen, let's discuss this. He talked to reporters before yesterday's Mavericks game about his team's personnel moves. Cuban said they had no chance, zero, at re-signing Jalen Brunson. Brunson, of course, signed with the Knicks last offseason. Cuban went on to tell reporters that once Jalen's dad got involved, that was when they had no shot. That was the end. Shannon, do you believe him?
No. Did Steve Nash's parents get involved? He walked out the door and became a two-time MVP. Here's the thing, Skip, and Mark Cuban, you know this. You possess Jalen Wright's bird rights, which means you can sign him at a significant higher salary without penalty.
He made the point they would have had to have gotten rid of a player by trading somebody.
And?
Do it. Okay.
And?
Yeah.
Your point is what?
Yep.
Okay, you kept saying player. Now look at you. Now let me ask you a question. Unless that player is Luka Doncic, how is it working out for you? So in other words, what you're telling me, we didn't think Jalen Brunson was that good because we weren't willing to give up a player because of Jalen Brunson. So now you have a hindsight revisionist history that, now you want to push the blame on Rick Brunson, Jalen's father.
Correct.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just own it. Like you own, say, I misjudged the roster and that, giving up, this Finney Smith and the defensive end.
Yeah.
No. Own it. Own it. You're the owner. You signed the checks. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out without your blessing. You F this one up, Mark.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You're not the first owner. You won't be the last owner that let a player that you didn't realize was better than you thought, let him walk out your door only to see him blossom and flourish in another locale.
Yeah.
But for you to put this on this man, don't do that. He should listen to his father because his father was giving some sound advice. You know what? You know what he probably said? You know what, Jalen? If they wanted you, they make you an offer. He probably told him just what I'm sharing. They possess your bird rights. They can pay you more if they want it. They don't believe in you. The Knicks believe in you. Because I remember I was reading where people say, Jalen Brunson ain't no $100 million man. The Knicks are out of their mind to offer him that kind of money. He said, how you like me now? Like Angel Reese said, what you got to say now? What they gonna say now? He's worth $100 million plus. And Mark Cuban was let him go. He was wrong, and he doesn't want to take ownership of it. He's blaming that man's father.
Yep.
He should listen to his father because his father is giving him sound advice. His father played in the NBA, and he's probably saying, Jalen, if Mark wanted you, Mark, we offer you the contract that you want.
Yep.
But he couldn't see him as a $100 million plus man on the Mavericks. Only Luka at that point in time could get that kind of money.
Yeah, just to read the quote real quick before you continue. This is Mark Cuban saying, where it all went south was when Rick took over, when the parent took over, or the parents took over. Rick is the father. So he is completely blaming parent or parents for not being able to re-sign Jalen.
Oh, so in other words, you mad at the parent because he wouldn't let you take advantage of his son. Now, ain't that a something? So Rick Brunson played in the NBA, probably
He
understand the inner workings of how the NBA and what all goes on. He's sitting down and having a conversation with his son. Because at the end of the day, whether I get something or not, the best interest I'm looking at for my kids.
Yep.
I've lived my life. I'm good. I want what's best for Jalen. And what is best for Jalen? Jalen, check this out, bro. Son, you know I love you. Whatever decision you decide to make, I'm going to ride with you.
Yep.
Now, this is an opportunity. This is what the Mavs can do if they wanted to. The Knicks already said, Skip, the Knicks lost the draft pick. Said they tampered with the man early beforehand.
Yep.
Lost it. Because they wanted that man that bad. They wanted him worse than what the Mavericks wanted to keep him. So hence, Skip, I mean, what am I supposed to do? If this job over here wants me more than the job that I'm at, what am I supposed to do?
The job you were at had many months to jump in and make sure that you were happy and were going to stay. And the job you were at, run by Mark Cuban, cold-shouldered you because it underestimated your market. Thinking there's not going to be any market for you and that you'll fall back in line and take what I finally offer you.
Yes.
No. Sorry. My view of Mark Cuban has never changed. I believe that he's a shifty, slick, shrewd spin doctor who is trying to convince Dallas Maverick fans that he didn't blow this, that he didn't completely swing and miss on this one when clearly he did.
Right.
He had Jalen Brunson for 4 years? He could have figured this out. He could have seen it coming. He could have correctly read the tea leaves he did not read. So now he's trying to put it on Rick and to a certain extent on Leon Rose. And remember, Leon Rose, now the Knicks president, he used
to be an agent.
Yeah, well, he was Jalen Brunson's first agent, and he is Jalen Brunson's godfather. And once upon a time, he represented Rick when I think Rick was his very first NBA client. So there are deep ties and connections. I don't doubt any of that. But they would not have come to fruition if you had come quickly to the table and headed it all off of the past by saying, I'm going to give you all I can give you because you're worth that to me, because I'm going to say it again. Last year's Dallas Mavericks, they played defense. They beat Utah in the first round. They beat the Phoenix Suns, the defending champs, in 7 games by winning a Game 7 in Phoenix, 123 to 90. 123 to 90. That team was really good. That team ran into a team that was about to win it all, rejuvenated Golden State.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. The Knicks gave him 4 years, $104 million. Do you think $104 million would go further in Dallas or New York City? With no state taxes.
Listen, by the way, that 104, that is a bargain.
Yes. And so when you look at it, 104, there's 6-8% state tax that I'm getting to save on my money.
Great point. Yep. Okay.
Now Jalen got like, hold on, Dad. I understand what you're saying now. But Mark did offer me 104. Let's just say he give him whatever he can give, 120. Let's think he can give 4 years at 120, which is $30 million. He's making 26 million. Let's just say he can go to 30.
Okay.
124 years, 130. In Texas, with no state income tax. Now Jalen Brunson has to make a decision. Well, you don't offer him no money. He ain't got the decision is easy. One team offered me $104 million. One team talking about offering me something. Okay. Guess where I'm going?
And yet Mark Cuban had the audacity to say, there was no negotiation. It's because you didn't negotiate at the start.
Oh, he gets slick with words, huh? You see, if you ain't negotiating, how you gonna blame the dad? If you didn't negotiate, why you blame the dad that he went somewhere else? I tell you who weren't negotiating, the Knicks, because it cost them a 20-25 second round pick.
Yeah. And clearly, point I've made again and again, Jalen Brunson was a way better fit with Luka than Kyrie has been. Kyrie is almost too great for his own good. He doesn't fit because he's doing the things Luka used to do. And here we went again. You saw what happened in the fourth quarter last night. Kyrie took 11 shots to Luka's 2 shots. Luka scored 0 in the fourth quarter to Kyrie's 19, and they survived. They lived to play another day to try to get through the back door into the play-in tournament. The point is that now he's saying, I shoulda, coulda, woulda if they hadn't preempted me by going to New York. Well, now he's talking out of both sides of his mouth because he's saying how much he loves Kyrie and his goal now is to re-sign Kyrie. Well, everything you just said indicates that you actually prefer Jalen Brunson over Kyrie, right?
Yes.
Aren't you playing into this narrative?
Yeah, and the thing is, you almost have to re-sign Kyrie. You gave up first 2 seconds, Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith.
And so that first is unprotected.
Exactly. So are you? Yeah. So what are you?
Okay.
Was he a rental?
Okay, but this is classic good money after bad, throwing good money after bad.
Exactly.
Because it's not working. Kyrie with the Mavericks, they're 9-14 now. They did beat Sacramento, but remember, Sacramento had just won a big game at New Orleans, and they were playing back-to-back at Dallas in the fourth quarter. They just ran out of gas because De'Aaron Fox wasn't very good in the fourth quarter.
Because if we look at it, Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, we know the Ravens at least offer Lamar something. It might not be to his satisfaction, but Lamar can't say, well, they didn't try to negotiate.
No.
Mark Cuban said himself there was no negotiation. So what am I supposed to do? Man, the Knicks got $104 million over 5 years right here. All you got to do is put your name. Jalen Brunson, I don't know if you're a junior or what. You sign your name on here, $26 million a year is yours.
Yep.
Or I could, Mark, what you going to do? Well, we have Luka. You know you're not the star of the team.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. And you know your minutes are going to be low, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. Save your breath.
You know what I wish would happen? I wish that Leon Rose and Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson would all fire back at Mark Cuban. But the truth is, they don't need to.
Right.
They're golden. They have just clinched a playoff spot.
We got him.
They're a success story, right?
Yes.
Jalen Brunson's averaging 26 and 6 assists?
24
and 6 assists.
24 and 6.
Okay.
Last year, Skip, in limited role, he was averaging 16 and 4. So you can see if he got more minutes, likely the likelihood of his point average was going to increase. And now you put him on a team that, oh, man, you mean to tell me I can get me 18, 20 shots? Whoo. No, don't do this. I hate the fact he's trying to make it seem. So did Rick steer him wrong? Did his dad not give him sound advice as a father should to his a child? Give him the best advice. Give him information because it's a lot easier. If I'm a doctor, it's a lot easier to pass information along to my kids if they want to go in that field.
True.
I had a big brother in the NFL. He told me how the thing worked. Shit, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's not about like and dislike. Can you get the job done?
Yep.
Rick Brunson can tell his son, this is a business. You make the best business decision you possibly can.
And by the way, Rick Brunson's a good basketball coach because he's been on several staffs. This wasn't a gift job that he was given out of nowhere.
Skip, we've seen colleges. If I'm not mistaken, Danny Manning was on Larry Brown's staff at Kansas. We see this all the time.
The father.
Yes. We see this all. This ain't something new. Mark Cuban trying to make it seem like it's new. It's not. They got parents on the payroll. They do it. So stop this. Mark, you F this one up. Just own it. It's not the first time. You had an opportunity. He said about some business venture. He had an opportunity, and he passed on it, and it's worth like 40, 60, $70 billion.
Yeah.
It happens. But you got to just acknowledge that you were wrong and move on without shifting the blame on the parent.
Well, you know what precipitated this press session last night from Mark Cuban before the game was Luka getting asked the day before, doing a post-practice interview, which is rare for him. How much do you miss Jalen Brunson? And he said, oh, a lot. Amazing player, amazing guy. Well, bingo.
Right.
In that, you want to talk about sticking in somebody's craw, that stuck in Mark Cuban's craw because it made him look foolish.
Yes. And Skip, to the point, the Bird, you know what the Bird rights can do that another team can't? They can offer you a 5th year.
Yeah.
So instead of one, so now, Skip, I give another $30 million on top of that. So that's 5 years at $150.
Yep. 5
years at $150 in Texas, and Dallas, Texas. Man, man, those state income tax go a long way. You think we can move the show to Vegas or Texas, Skip? Because this 12-13% killing.
Yeah, but even if we moved to Texas, we'd still be employed here, and I think you'd have to file.
Yeah, they do.
I think they would. Okay, so speaking of bird rights, the next punchline to this is the Mavericks also have Kyrie's bird rights, which means he can go max out. He can get up to 5 years, $272 million. So Kyrie's saying, oh, you want to keep me, Mark? Guess what?
Right.
Okay.
But you see what he did, Skip? They asked him, "Are you willing to make him a max player?" He said, "I'm not negotiating with you."
Yeah, right. Well, now
and they asked him about Christian Wood, because Christian Wood contract is up. They said, "Hey, we're not going through the roster and say what we gonna do there." Because here's the thing, though, Skip. You know, if you get Kyrie 5 for $272, Luka only got 5 at little.
Yeah, that is correct. The problem is, do I think Kyrie's worth that much money?
Yeah.
I do not. But he has been scoring at a phenomenal fourth quarter pace where he's now the leading NBA scorer in the fourth quarter. And he's going to say, Mark, I just showed you I'm worth this. Mark can say, yeah, but I don't know if they're going to make or miss the play-in. But if they miss the play-in, Mark could say, well, we didn't even make the playoffs with you, right?
Kyrie wants the full 5 years.
Yeah.
He's not interested in a 3-year. He's not interested in a 4-year. He wants the full 5. Do I think he's worth it? Yeah. But I have some concerns given his behavior since let's just go back the last 5 years. I have some concerns.
Yeah.
And as an employer and knowing this employee, I'm going to pause for a minute.
Well, listen,
I'm going to think long and hard.
Josiah paused completely and said, I'm not going to do this.
Yes.
And Kyrie said, okay, get me out of here. And he said, done.
Right.
Hard to believe the Mavericks were in the Western Conference Finals just a year ago, guys. The fortunes have changed so dramatically.
Yep.
All right, speaking of fortunes, do we think the Lakers still have a chance to climb out of the play-in tournament into the playoffs? Let's discuss when we come back.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here. And over on my podcast, The Joel Klatt Show, we discuss the best teams, players, and storylines in college football. This month, leading up to the NFL draft, I'm giving you my mock drafts, top 50 prospects, and interviews with draft experts. So follow The Joel Klatt Show on the Fox Sports app, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and get in on the fun.
And I won't back down.
The Lakers fell to the Clippers last night. They now sit in the 7th seed with 2 games remaining. The Warriors, 1 spot ahead in the 6th seed, also have 2 games remaining. So I know it's a jumble, a mess, but if the Lakers win 1 more game than the Warriors down the stretch, then they move into the 6th seed, and that means they avoid the play-in tournament. Shannon, predict. Are your Lakers going to be in the playoffs or the play-in?
I'm looking at Golden State, Skip. They're at Sacramento tomorrow night, and they finished up at Portland on Sunday. I can see them losing at Sacramento. I wanted to say play in, but I'm gonna say, we're gonna win the last 2. We're gonna beat the Suns on Friday, and they'll beat the Jazz on Sunday. And I'm gonna say they sneak in because all they need is to win the last 2 and have the Warriors lose one of the last 2. And because they own the tiebreak, that 3-1 advantage in head-to-head series, that would give them the 6th seed. So I'm gonna say, you know what, Skip? I was tempted until I saw who the Golden State Warriors play on Friday. They're gonna lose on Friday, and we're gonna sneak in. We're gonna get that 6th spot.
Okay. Just me? I would not be shocked if Golden State lost on Sunday at Portland, because Portland has been game lately that they will still fight, and there's still enough talent left there that you never know how seriously even Golden State will take that game.
Right.
But the point is...
Well, they're going to take it very serious, especially if they lose at Sacramento.
Yeah, it just depends on how it's all shaken out.
Well, okay, what, Skip? They'll know. Because they'll know what they need to do. Because because all they have to do is that if the Suns beat the Lakers, all they need to do is win one of the last 2 games.
Yeah, but Portland's been playing spoiler down the stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe you will wind up the 6th seed and avoid the play-in and get a few days, maybe as much as 7 days off, which will be gold for LeBron James. I say that for 2 reasons. I really like the way he and the Lakers, played in the second half last night. They did not roll over and die. They made a great run, and it was just a greater response by the Clippers. So I give the Clippers all the credit, but I love the way LeBron played in the second half, and I still can't believe that he stunk so badly in the first half and was so spectacular in the second half, when you would have thought it would have been reversed because he was playing back-to-back off an overtime game. So my point to you is, I like their momentum coming out of the second half that they won by 12. And then here's the key to all of this. I look at the Phoenix Suns, your opponent on Friday night.
Right.
And what do they have to do on Thursday?
Back to back. They play tonight.
They play Denver. Okay, so tonight they play Denver.
But how much is Denver going to play since they sold up home court throughout since Memphis lost?
Better question. How much are the Suns going to play tonight? I'm talking about the starters.
Right.
I'm especially talking about Kevin Bleepin Durant. Is he going to play 30-plus minutes tonight? Will he save himself, or will they save him from himself for you guys tomorrow night here in L.A.? That's the key to all of this. Kevin Durant needs reps. He needs to play as much basketball as possible. He's played now, 7 games with his new team, and they've won all 7. So they need to play basketball, and they are already assured of having up to a week off because they're not going to fall into the play-in. Obviously, they're almost certainly going to be the 4 seed, right?
But the Clippers, here's the thing.
I mean, 4 or 5.
They're
the 4. They would be the 4.
They got Denver tonight, Lakers tomorrow, and they finish with the Clippers at home.
Okay.
Theoretically, they could swap 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's a bit of a long shot because I think they're 2.5 off with 3 to go. So they would have to crumble.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
But it could.
They're game and a half up.
Game and a half?
No, 2.5. 2.5.
2.5.
Yep, 2.5. My bad.
Okay. So the point is, what's your gut feeling on how full strength the Phoenix Suns will be against you guys coming off their back-to-back against the best team in the Western Conference? Which measuring stick do they want to focus on? Monty Williams, would he say, do we want to go hard against Denver and then just take it, just to see what we can do with some of our backups against the Lakers?
And because it looks like the matchup is probably going to be Phoenix and the Clippers.
Yeah.
The 4-5.
Okay.
That's what it's shaping up to be.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So my point is it possible you would get a break tomorrow night and Kevin, starting with Kevin, would not play? Or CP3 would say, I just need a little bit of a rest here, and he does not play.
I think tonight's game is going to tell you a lot. Do they not play tonight and play tomorrow, or do they play tonight and not play tomorrow and then play? Because if they win tonight, Skip, it's over. The Clippers can't catch them.
Yeah.
Because they have a 2.5 game lead and they're only 2 games to play.
Got it.
So if they win tonight, there's really nothing left to play for. It all depends on how. But rest is very important now. And you talk about the question is rest versus rust.
That is correct.
Well, Kevin Durant is going to play. This will be his second game, third or fourth game
Since coming back?
Since coming back from the injury.
Yes. This would be his 4th game. Yes. Okay. Because he went 3-0 and now he's 3-0 again.
Right.
This would make him,
Okay.
or is he up to 4-0? I think they're 7-0. But the point is, Golden State is 9-30 on the road.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a night on the road when they say, heck with this, like watch this, we are the defending champ? Are they going to finally flip a road switch?
But Skip, they don't play. They score 118, but they give up 116.
Yeah.
117
On the road.
On the road.
Yes.
So that's their problem.
They haven't shown me anything on the road all year. They have one of the worst road records in all of basketball.
And Steve Kerr did say yesterday Andrew Wiggins will not play the remainder of the regular season.
Okay, so I say they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
I say they're going to lose tonight at Sacramento. Sacramento, obviously, yeah. Oh, wait, is it? No, it's tomorrow night. I'm sorry. I say tonight. Tomorrow night, because Sacramento ran out of gas in the 4th quarter at Dallas last night. Okay, so it's tomorrow night. So it'll be sort of simultaneous games tomorrow night.
Right.
Which brings me back to your big X factor, Anthony Davis. I read this quote from him this morning when he was asked how his foot is doing after last night's game. He had a bone spur and some kind of stress reaction. He said, I've been better, but I'll be fine. I did not love the I've been better. So he is indicating his foot is still bothering him.
Right.
LeBron hasn't said a word about his foot bothering him.
Right.
But AD is either planting an excuse or telling the flat-out truth that it is somehow nagging.
Right.
Right?
And both. It could be both. It could be negative and it could be an excuse.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is nobody cares. It's this time of the season.
It is.
You're in the position that you're in. You're fighting for your playoff play-in lives.
Yep.
Hey, you got to go. You got to go to work.
Okay, you got to go to work because it's you versus DeAndre Ayton. AD, I say this about everybody, he's just better.
Should be.
He should be able to take advantage of DeAndre Ayton. Not that DeAndre's bad, but he ain't no AD. And this is one of those home nights when you need to rise and shine and your motor needs to run hot. I think you got this. I think you will end up the sixth seed, and Golden State will end up having to play in.
Okay. I hope so.
I guess we're just going to keep hitting that refresh button on those Western Conference standings right up until the very last
second. I know one team we didn't mention. It's skipping that gloss right over the top of them.
Not the Clippers.
Because you're scared. You're afraid to say their name.
I know
what's happening here. I know what's happening here. You can't say Pelicans because it strikes fear in your heart. All right, gentlemen. Let's move on to the NFL when we come back and discuss a little Cam Newton. Do you think there's a team out there that would sign him as a backup? Let's dive in when we come back. Despite Cam Newton saying ahead of Auburn's pro day that there are not 32 quarterbacks better than him, he explained on a YouTube video that, he'd be willing to sign as a backup. Cam listed Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, Malik Willis, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Sam Howell, and incoming rookies C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson as quarterbacks he'd be willing to back up. That's a long list. There are a lot of options there. Shannon, what do you make of these comments from Cam?
Cam need to put the camera down. See, the problem I have with Cam is that his arrogance is suffocating. This man was out of the entire NFL last year. And then he comes in with a wish list. These are the teams or these are the players I'm willing to back up. Skip, I don't have a job, but I'm only willing to work for Apple, Google, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Amazon, Salesforce, American Express, Wells Fargo, Walmart, and Target. I don't have a job. I don't get to call the shots. Cam, do you realize this? How many teams called you last year? You telling teams what you're willing to do. Oh, this is what I do. How many teams called you? And now you think because you say something on YouTube or you put it out there on social media with your fancy font that these teams like, man, you heard what Cam say? Cam say he back up Deshaun. He back up Lamar Jackson. He back up this and that one. Let's get on the phone and call him up. And the problem that I have is that your followers, they're as dumb as you and they think this is legit. And this is how it works. There's a reason why teams haven't called you. And you don't get it. Your arrogance blinds you. You think because you're Cam Newton. If you were 2015 Cam, you wouldn't even miss last year.
No.
But you think, well, let me tell you the guys, Lamar and Jalen Hurts and Aaron Rodgers, basically what he's trying to say, Skip, these are guys that I think are better than me, so I'll be willing to back them up. The other guy. And for you, I don't get it. He's like, man, Shannon, you called Cam a random. You thought it was okay for Cam to call them other 32 guys random. So why can't I say that he's a random? At least they got jobs.
You responded to him.
Yes. At least they got jobs, so what does that make him? What? If somebody's employed and I'm not, I've been on the other side, Cam. When I got let go by CBS, Skip, I go to the barbershop and everybody say, Sharp, when you gonna get a job, man? You better than them bums on TV. Hey, everybody talking, hey, guys in the league, man, why you ain't on TV? Hey, bro, I need somebody to give me a chance. Here comes Skip, knocks on my door, gave me the chance. Hey, I could say, these are the only networks I'm gonna work for. I'm only gonna work for this network, and that network. Anybody else, nah, I'm good. What? I'm without a job. Hell, if CNN would have called, if the whole HGTV. Skip, I don't get Cam. I really don't. Is that he thinks that, this is what he would be willing to do. You don't call the shots, Cam. Oh my goodness, man! He gets my blood pressure going because of his arrogance, because of the way he conducts himself. Instead of saying, "Look, Skip, I thought he said he'd be willing to be a backup." Now he's only willing to be a backup for these guys. If he can back up these guys, now see, he told a lie. Now, if it's a lie, he told it. He said, I'm willing to be a backup.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out a week later, 2 weeks later, says, I'm only willing to be a backup for these guys. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see. I can't wait. I want to see how many teams going to call him. I wonder how many teams called him since his pro day. Remember he had that day?
I'll quote him. He said, my phone ain't ring since the pro day.
I bet it's about to start ringing off the hook right now. When he told him he'd back up these guys right here, I bet that thing ringing off the hook. He had to get a second line, maybe a third line.
Yeah. I'm still a Cam fan. I was before his draft. I certainly was in 2015. But sad but true, that arrogance you speak of has now turned into delusional arrogance. That's what's scary about this. Yeah. I watched this whole 23-minute video. He's got his cigar going. He's going to town, trying to reset. He said, I'm going to reset the narrative. In part, this was in response to you.
You created the narrative, Cam.
Got it. Shannon, I listened hard to this. I tried hard to follow the thread and grasp the ultimate thrust of this. And the more he spoke, the more confused I got. I have no idea how you can rank the quarterbacks that you would be willing to back up, because he put them in order, starting with Deshaun. Oh, I know Deshaun well. They were in the 7-on-7 together. And then
Deshaun came to his 7-on-7 camp.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he came to his camp. Somebody else did. So maybe Malik Willis did. But by the way, I lost track of where Malik was. I think he was 6th on the list. Malik Willis is not the starter.
He's a backup.
He's a backup. So you're going to back up the backup? Okay, you really lost me there. And then in the middle, you list the 3 soon-to-be drafted quarterbacks in the first round, obviously Bryce and CJ and Anthony Richardson, and you want to back them up, and you indicate you could mentor them. Okay, I get the idea of that. You don't mention Will Levis, who's going to go somewhere up in there, might even go ahead of Anthony Richardson. So he's omitted from the list. Could be black quarterback to black quarterback. Got it.
Right.
But then at the bottom, we get to the white quarterbacks, and he starts with Aaron Rodgers. But you'd be willing to back up Aaron Rodgers, but you omit from your list Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and for that matter, Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
And you indicate, if I heard him right, and I was listening hard to this, that all the other quarterbacks not on this list, he would like to go compete with because he believes he could beat them out.
Right.
And he said it's like, let the better man win the competition. So he said, I love Patrick. I got all the respect in the world for Patrick, but I think he was indicating that he would like to go compete against Patrick who? Patrick Mahomes, and against Justin Herbert, and against Trevor Lawrence.
No, you mean compete on a team.
Yes, go compete for their job.
Yes.
Well, that's how it came across.
Cam out his damn mind.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying.
I want to know who in their right damn mind think Cam Newton can beat out Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert for the starting job on their respective teams. Who?
In his mind.
Cam Newton.
Okay.
Skip, you misheard him.
Okay.
You misheard him. He said he wanted to compete against those guys on another team. He wants to play against them.
No. He wanted to go compete with them for their job. And also not on the list that he would back up, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones. So I'm assuming he means by omission that, I could go in there and win that job. You see what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to back them up. And yet, how did Aaron Rodgers get on the list? So he's saying he couldn't beat out Aaron Rodgers, but
he can beat out Patrick Mahomes. He can beat out Joe Burrow. He can beat out Justin Herbert.
That is the implication here.
Hold on. Skip, do you realize? Okay, he said Deshaun Lamar. Who thinks those guys, anybody on this list, is better than Patrick Mahomes? Who thinks that anybody that he mentioned on this list is better than Joe Burrow?
No.
I'm not so sure that anybody on this list that they think is better than Justin Herbert. Ask any general manager. Take a poll. Who thinks the guys on this list are better than those 3 guys? Cam Newton has been out of the damn league for 3 years, and he thinks he can beat them out for a job?
Yeah. So
something within that cigar. And I ain't talking about tobacco.
Yeah, got it. I don't know. And then the other weird one was, The last player on the list he would back up is Sam Howell. Wait a minute. You would go, I don't even know if he's going to be the starter.
I'm talking about Sam Howell in Washington.
Yes.
Hold on. Didn't Ron Rivera have a chance to get him last year? Didn't Ron Rivera have a chance to get him 2 years ago?
Didn't Ron Rivera once coach him in Carolina? Yes, he did. Nobody knows Cam Newton better than Ron Rivera. And he said no to Cam Newton, okay? But why would you want to go back up Sam Howell? How long would that last? How long would you be comfortable sitting back saying, I'll carry the clipboard for him. I'll mentor him. Seriously?
This delusion. Go back and check my track record. I supported Cam when he was at college, when everybody talking about he did what he did and his father did what they did.
Yep.
I supported him all the way through Carolina. When he went to New England, Skip, I said, hey, he can win this job, blah, blah, blah. I supported him. Mm-hmm. It's just when he came with the delusion and came out being disrespectful to other players.
Got it.
At the end of the day, no matter what I might think about somebody that does this job, I'm not going to be disrespectful because they're doing the job. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I think I can be better at it, give me an opportunity. I'll go somewhere else. I might not be where I started and where I end up. So just give me a chance. But I'm willing to go anywhere. In whatever role you see from me, I'll show you sooner or later cream will rise to the top. Mm-hmm. And I'll be what I know I can be.
Yep.
But that's disrespectful. That, like I say, the arrogance is suffocating me.
It is.
But it's blinded him.
Yep.
Because for him to think that he could be... Cam Newton on his absolutely best has never been better than Patrick Mahomes. Even in his MVP season.
Yep.
Go look at Mahomes. Does he understand Patrick Mahomes is a transcendent? There's great players, there's generational players, and then there's transcendent.
Mm-hmm. Agreed?
Man, this is... I just hope his phone's right. I want him to get a chance. I want to see. And I hope I'm wrong that Cam gets an opportunity and he can recapture what he had in 2015.
Yep.
But that's not very likely. And like he said, he had Skip. It's the draft now. They're looking at these top 3, 4 quarterbacks that's coming out.
Yep.
There's some other quarterbacks that's coming out in the draft. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, they're going to get a shot before Cam. And I can assure you, hey, no, Skip, normally guys are like, yeah, that would be great, but hey, wherever I go, I just want to get drafted.
Yeah.
Normally, the guy that's looking for a job, I just want to, well, what do you want to do? Well, I did this for like 10 years. I was in graphic design. I was an engineer. I was in research.
Yeah.
I was in economics and finance.
Yeah.
But hey, at this point in time, I'm without a job. So if you have something or you know somebody that might have something, keep your boy in mind. This joker out of the league, and he has a nerve to give the NFL teams, say, this is what I'd be willing to do. Mm-hmm. I ain't got no job. Mm-hmm. I'm starving. I'm hungry. But I'm only going to work for these companies.
Yep.
Man, miss me with this.
Well, I think he intended this for you, not to miss you, to
I ain't got no team.
Hit you.
I ain't got no team.
Yeah.
And the innuendo or the conjecture or what the shots that subtle shots you try to send me, I ain't got no team. You don't need to impress me. You can take our shot. I did what I did. I'm done. I can't do no more. I get paid to have an opinion about 10 topics a day.
Yep.
I give my opinion. I go home. I'm with my dogs. I go work out. That's it.
That's it.
So you can take all the shots you want at me. I ain't got no team. You need to be taking shots at Jerry Jones and all these general managers that haven't given you a call. I can't give you a call.
Yep.
Because I ain't got nothing for you to do.
So to your point about supporting Cam, I really liked the way Cam played, trying to step into Brady's shoes in New England. I thought he was really good in that stretch to open that season.
Right.
He got beat up, and then as he went into his second season, COVID was upon us.
Right.
And remember what he did? He was supposed to stay in pocket, and he left their bubble, remember?
Yeah.
And he broke the rules, and Belichick, right before the season started, said, no.
And then he's like, well, give me if you weren't healthy, when you went to New England the first time, say, guys, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm just not healthy enough to go and be the Cam Newton because I don't want to put bad tape out there. He put bad tape out there. And then he followed up next year with some worse tape.
Well, it got worse when he went back to Carolina.
Skip, how is that the team's fault? They gave you an opportunity. If you knew you weren't 100% and you weren't up to the task or the challenge, don't take your butt out there. Because at the end of the day, they see Cam Newton. They see one.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about no offseason surgery. They don't care nothing about no knee. They don't care nothing about no foot, no toe. They see Newton. But when you was doing all this stuff and you running to the middle of the field and you doing all that, were you hurt then? I couldn't tell anything was wrong with your shoulders because you had your arms spread like you were like a condor.
Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much the last of Cam. And to your point, he didn't play half a year last year. He played none. He was out the whole year.
So was he not healthy last year? But look, you can have Skip, but it's the list. I mean, he called dudes randoms, and now he's got a list. These are the dudes I'll be willing to back up. Mm-hmm. The rest of y'all, I ain't got time for y'all. Sometimes we be our worst enemy and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
We think we saying something. We think we try to appeal to the masses because he get on there and he get on the IG Live and he get this podcast or whoever podcast he was on. And then, man, you heard what Cam say? I agree with you, Cam. You're a bigger fool than he is if you agree with this.
All I know is the more he spoke in this video, the more lost I got.
Why speak?
Good question.
Name the person that got picked up because they said something on social media. You think these teams care about what you talk about on social media?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, can you help us win games? Mm-hmm. Now, if you want a job in the social media department and can teach us how to write with that font, we might be hiring.
Yep.
But we're looking for football players.
Yep.
With the NFL, we look for football players. Are you good enough? The question is not what I think. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even matter what he thinks because he can't hire himself. Mm-hmm. And the fans that support Cam, they can't hire him. What does those 32 teams, the people that's making decisions, what do they think?
Okay. Final point. Full disclosure. I've mentioned this once before, and it is apropos right now. Back in October, we, as a show, made overtures to Cam. Come on in here, do the whole show. He's very good on camera. Obviously, we can talk football in general, but you can explain to us where you are and who you think you could be. Right. But obviously here, he's going to get cross-examined because we're going to say, well, wait a second. What do you mean by that? Or help us out. Help us out. Where are you? What do you think could happen?
Right.
And he could have as much time as he would want, but we're not going to ask. We're not going to toss softballs.
No, this is not a pro show.
No, okay.
Because at the end of the day, if LeBron plays bad, I'm going to say LeBron played bad. If Mahomes plays bad, if this one plays bad, he played bad. If you play good, I'm going to say you play good. If I was wrong, I'm going to say I was wrong. Yep. But to come out here, if he thought he was going to come out here, it's like, oh, Cam, you had a great career, yada, yada, yada. I'm surprised you're not in the league. That ain't happening.
I don't know, but it didn't happen after we thought it was set up for a couple of weeks. Then it just didn't materialize. He did not pursue.
Yeah.
It was ready to go. We were obviously going to pay all of us, fly him out here and put him up and do all that. Yeah. And it didn't happen. So the full disclosure is, in complete, transparent objectivity, we did offer him the option of coming here and talking to us.
And full disclosure, Shannon Sharp knew nothing about that. So
that is true.
Don't say Shannon Sharp didn't want Cam to come here, because that's a lie. Shannon Sharp, that's the first time I heard this story, is Skip telling it now. So I don't know anything about no guests that be coming on the show who we might or might not have. I don't know anything. All I know is I get the rundown. Oh, he on the show? Okay, I'm ready to go.
True. Very true.
Well, I'll say this. I miss Cam because of the post-game fashion shows. They were always epic, always something to see. Gentlemen, the Mavericks back to the NBA. When we come back, they got some decisions to make with Kyrie. Do you think they should go all in on him this offseason? Got to get your take in just a moment. Before Kyrie dropped 31 points, including 19 in the fourth quarter, Mark Cuban talked to reporters about if Dallas would try to sign Kyrie to a long-term deal this offseason. Here's what Cuban said, quote, "I'd love to have him stay for sure. I'd love to have him. I want him to stay, and I think we have a good shot." When asked if the Mavs could be outbid for Kyrie, Cuban responded, quote, "I guess there's always too high a price, depending. But now with the new CBA, it's a different world." Whew, making it rain, huh? Shannon, should the Mavs re-sign Kyrie?
It's almost a must, Skip. They got to at least try. Skip, it would be a no-brainer. if the most important thing was Kyrie was basketball, which he said the most important thing to him isn't basketball. If he's Kyrie Irving, but he loved the game like KD or LeBron or some of these other guys, it's a no-brainer. What are we discussing? I mean,
Yep.
that's all he wants. All he wants is 5 years for 272, 275. Mm-hmm. But because of the ancillary things that go on outside of the game, and everybody knows it's hard now because everybody talks. So there are some things that probably transpired in Brooklyn, that probably transpired in Cleveland, that probably transpired in Boston, that never made it to public ears. Mm-hmm. But guess who it did make it to? Those 30 owners, those other owners around the league, those other execs around the league. And so that's the question that Mark Cuban is juggling. Mm-hmm. Am I getting a guy that's on his best behavior because he's a changed man, family now, he got kids, or this is a guy just playing for the max contract, he gets his money, he might take 2 weeks off here, might decide he don't want to play there. How do I determine that? And I think that's the tough position that Mark Cuban's in, because there's no question. The talent says he's a max player. The behavior off the court says he's a 3-year player.
Yep.
With some wiggle room for me to get out. 5 years is a long, long time. Mm-hmm. When a player has that kind of leverage, has that kind of security, and that kind of leverage, they can give you your butt to kiss, and you basically got to kiss it. Yep. And I don't think Mark Cuban is in the business of having to kiss Kyrie's butt. Now, if Kyrie he's been exemplary since he's been, as far as I know, Skip, off the court.
I'm pretty sure. And he says he's never been happier.
Well, if he says he's never been happier, hopefully that correlates to him being professional at all times.
Yep.
But Skip, I don't know how they let him just walk. I don't know if he's going to get the max. But Skip, Mark Cuban has to do something because of what they gave up to get him. And you don't want this to be just a rental property, because it's really nice.
Yeah.
I think you kind of want some ownership in that joint.
Yes. All right. Here's my big picture issue with this. And I first guessed this. Kyrie and Luka do not fit. I am not blaming Kyrie. I'm actually complimenting Kyrie, because as a Dallas Maverick, he, in and of himself, has been sensational.
Yes.
He's actually been too good for their own good, because it was clearly Luka's team. You have loved Luka from the start.
Yep.
You have called him Baby Bird, as in Larry Bird, as in, oh my God, we're going to get struck by lightning. But you have gone that far. And there have been moments when I sat back and said, man, he is really good, because you just can't keep him from scoring in the lane, because he plays at this herky-jerky, weird, different rhythm that nobody can time on defense. Mm-hmm. I give you all the above. In fact, there's a shot I should ask for the video, but he made a shot last night at the end of the game.
Oh, there's that three-quarters court?
He pushed it. He shot it like you shoot a free throw with your feet on the floor. He just push shot it with one hand. And do you know how hard it is? Yeah. Do you know what strength is required to push a basketball that far and swish it? Yes. He's a trick shot artist, and he has way more natural strength than it appears to be in that bad body that he's camouflaged in, because he has got grown man strength, or he would not be able to do in the lane what he does. Right. But it was clearly Luka's team, right? Yes. Clearly, they beat the defending champ last year in 7 games, 123-90 at Phoenix. They went on and ran into the new buzzsaw, the recreated buzzsaw that was Steph's team in Golden State, but they got to the conference finals. Right. They were the 4 seed when Kyrie walked in the locker room door. They're now the 11 seed. They're hanging on for dear life. They survived in the fourth quarter only because Kyrie scored 19 points to Luka's 2. Luka took 2 total shots in the fourth quarter to Kyrie's, 11 shots? He took 11 shots to 2.
Kyrie had 19 of the 31 points.
Okay, I got it. I'm going to say this one more time. Nobody seems to care about this. I think the sports world will soon catch up to this, but I'm going to say it again. In the fourth quarters and overtimes they've played together in Dallas for the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie has attempted 103 shots to Luka's 50. Kyrie has taken more than twice as many shots as the preseason MVP has taken in crunch time, in fourth quarter money time. In the fourth quarters, Baby Bird has become more of a dodo bird because he's a nothing. Shannon, I'm serious about this. He's got some pout in him. He's constantly complaining to the referees. Yep. He is pouting in the fourth quarters. He's basically saying to Mark Cuban, okay, you clearly brought him in to be our closer. Let him close. I'm going to play limited fourth quarter minutes. Here's the approximate minutes they played. Kyrie in the fourth quarters on Luka's team as a Maverick has played 185 approximate minutes to, let me get exactly, it's 185 to about 100. Right. So it's about 85 more minutes. The point being, I don't even know what possesses Luka. He's like, he won't even play those first minutes of the fourth quarter. Kyrie almost always plays all 12.
Yeah, he came in at the 7:45 mark last night and played the rest of the way.
7:45.
So that's 4 minutes and 15. How many shots you think Kyrie can get up in 4 minutes? Well, at least 3, 4.
And I'm good. I'm not condemning or complaining about Kyrie. I'm not criticizing at all. I'm criticizing Mark Cuban because basketball, above all games, is a chemistry game. We're seeing it with the Lakers. I love the new pieces. I love them without Russ and without Pat Bev. I don't love the Mavericks with Kyrie doing exactly the same things Luka used to do. Luka, what did he say the other day? I'm just not happy. What did he say the other day? Just 2 days ago, he said, yeah, I miss Jalen a lot. Well, yeah, he does because Jalen fit. When he needed Jalen to go get a hoop, he'd go get him a bucket. Kyrie is the man in Dallas. This is feeling more and more like Kyrie's team and not Luka's team. So clearly, Mark Cuban, you want to talk about stuck? Not only is he stuck with the Kyrie who's played sensational basketball, what's your plan B? You don't have a way out of this, right? Because there's no Jalen Brunson available that can team perfectly with Luka.
Right. Yeah.
So right now, he's hanging on for dear life to, wait a second, my draw right now is Kyrie. Yeah. And Shannon, Kyrie in the fourth quarter last night, if we could see this quickly, I got the shots. He made 7 shots. He made, what, did he make 4? Yeah, he made 4 threes. If we could see these, bam, bam,
Christian
bam.
Woods were the only ones that scored in the fourth.
Yeah. Here we go, Kyrie. Again, there's never been anything like this. The handle, the explosion, the movement, the ability to create. Look at that. He's got defender all over him. And
this is the shot you're talking about.
Yep, that's the shot. This is, thank you. Okay.
What am I supposed to do, Skip? I mean,
too good.
What does Mike Brown want me to do after the man does that?
Too good. It's like kings are looking at each other like, well, what are we supposed to do?
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Once he gets it going like this,
it's over.
Good night.
You got to pick him up at half court.
Yeah, good night, Zach.
Look at this.
That's the old hammer pass from the corner.
Skip, the ball left the camera.
That's crazy.
I know he shot it, and it just ends up in the net.
It's crazy good. He and he alone saved them in the fourth quarter. Yes. They are still breathing barely because of Kyrie Irving. So what's Mark Cuban to do? He's in the precarious position of Kyrie's going to want that 5-year 272.
Yes.
I'll stay for that.
Yes.
What's Mark going to say? No, because I think at Kyrie's heart of hearts, his ultimate goal was to come out here and reunite with LeBron because he's spoken about it again and again. Well, right now, can Mark Cuban bear to lose him? I don't think so.
No. And Skip, Mark Cuban said it would have been nice to replace Brunson heading into the season. But now we know we can be great offensively. We know we have to get better defensively, and that's an easier problem to solve. Now, they got a promising guy. Jaden Hardy is really good.
He is.
But they got some big contracts. Tim Hardaway Jr., Davis Bertans, Maxi Kleber.
Okay.
One or both, 2 of those guys are going to have to go. If you get Kyrie to max, you have to get up off 2 of those. It's really that simple, Skip.
All right.
Or you're going to be, and they're going to really punish you in the luxury tax this go around.
Well, maybe he can afford it if he wants to.
Yeah, but
I have to.
But let me ask you a question, Skip. Even with Kyrie, let's see what they can add defensively. Nobody's looking at the Mavericks to come out of the West.
I still can't get it through my head how a team that the core is still basically in place, how it played so much better defensively a year ago than this year. I give you, it lost Dorian Finney-Smith, and he's a good defender. Not a great one, but a very good one.
But did you hear Lucas say, I play so hard, it's hard for me to play on the other end.
Okay.
But I do got to get back.
But we knew that from the start. And I think
Luka, you can't be that honest, though, Skip.
Okay, all right, but it's ditto for Kyrie. I think he's in the same boat.
Yes.
Okay, so you got two superstars.
Offensive players.
No defense. Okay, I got it. Good luck.
Skip, I agree with you. It is such a crazy slide. It's hard to wrap your head around where they were this time last year and where they are now. Yeah. We will see what offseason moves they make to right the ship. Gentlemen, when we come back, the Lakers, do those finals hopes look bleak after last night's loss? Let's discuss in just a moment. The Lakers fell to the Clippers 125-118 at the end of a back-to-back last night. Really a tale of two halves for LeBron. He finishes with a game-high 33, but he only had 3 points at halftime. Anthony Davis chipped in 17. The Lakers did trail by as many as 24 points at one point. LeBron called it, quote, one of the toughest games we've had all year. So this morning, the Lakers wake up remaining in that 7th seed. If they don't move up, see you in the play-in tournament. Shannon, how much faith did you lose in the Lakers last night?
I didn't lose anything, any faith, Skip, because what I do know, in a one-game situation, anything can happen. And we've seen it happen. I believe the Lakers can beat anybody in a 7-game series. More importantly, the Lakers believe they can beat anybody in a 7-game series. And that's all that matters. The question is, how healthy are they going to be? Now, there will be no back-to-backs. So we don't have to worry about LeBron and AD playing a back-to-back. You will be able to get some rest. It's probably like maybe the first game is like on Thursday, and then the next game probably going to be like a Monday or Tuesday. So first game, and then, they travel, and then you get into a rhythm and going back every other day. I'm confident that LeBron is starting to get his rhythm, Skip. We saw what happened in Utah. Although he blew the layup at the end. Yep. He goes and gets 9 of their 11 points in overtime.
Did.
We saw last night he had 3 points. He was 1 for 6 from the floor. And then we see him go haywire. As good a half of basketball, if you'll see from anybody, forget his age notwithstanding, years in the league notwithstanding, that's as good a performance, whether you're 21, 25, 30, or you're 38 and you're 20.
Agreed.
12 or 14 for 30 points was sensational. Mm-hmm. And so given that, let's skip at the end of skip. Like, did you know this? AD and LeBron were able to play 5 straight games starting from January 27th to 2021 until April 4th of 2023. They went over 800 days and never played 5 consecutive games together.
Okay.
The question is, what AD am I going to get? Am I going to get the AD that give me 40 and 17?
Yep.
Or am I going to get the guy to give me 17 and 11?
That is
Am
the
I going to
question.
get a guy to give me 8 and 9?
Yep.
What am I going to get, Skip?
Okay. You seemed to open the show to be a little deflated by what happened last night.
But you know what I think the thing is, Skip? Sometimes, you just play somebody, and no matter what, they just get ready to play you.
They do. I tweeted late last night, if somehow the Clippers could play the Lakers in every playoff game, they'd go win the championship because they'd crush, man.
They shoot the ball from 3.
However good they are, the Lakers bring out the very best in them.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to say again, last night was the single weirdest NBA game I have ever watched because none of it really made sense. But my biggest takeaway at the end was I wasn't deflated for your Lakers. I was very encouraged by how they performed in the second half, starting with LeBron, but all of them. It felt good to me, but
You like the fight. They just didn't grow up. 24-point lead didn't go to 40.
I don't know how you could play a whole lot better because the other team just made shots when Bones Highland is jacking them up from 35 feet and ripping them. You can't defend it. It's too good. He's the backup point guard, and he comes in. Russ barely plays in the second half after a hot start, a great start. And Bones Highland finishes you off with 14 in the fourth quarter to offset LeBron's 5 out of 5, 2 out of 2 from 3, 14 points in the fourth quarter. It's incomprehensible, crazy to me that this weird game turned out to be actually a Lakers showcase in the second half. Even quietly, Austin Reese, he got his 20. He was pretty good. AD, not so much. The points and the rebounds look okay, but in the end, he got out-hustled and outplayed by Big Zoo, a former Laker. That's the sticking point. That's the Achilles feel for your team is that I don't have a feel for what you're going to get from him night to night. But the point was that everything was upside down because if LeBron was going to play a great half, like an all-time great half, and an all-time worst half, they should have been flipped.
Right.
You played 38 minutes. You were forced because you missed the layup at the end of regulation at Utah to play 5 more minutes. You redeemed yourself. You spent yourself. You got in late because they couldn't de-ice the plane in Utah. You didn't get your normal rest. You were a game-time decision. You said, I'm sucking it up. I'm going to play. Well, why wouldn't you give – you should give your team 30 in the first half and hit the wall at halftime, right? Nope, it went just the other way. I still believe that Russell Westbrook's taunting of LeBron in the first quarter finally got to LeBron at halftime, and he's like, I'm going to show him. And yet there was no Russ to show in the second half because Ty Lue said, you're going to stay over here with me because you turned it over 3 times in the first half, and I don't want to see 6 of these, which is what I predicted would be for the game. But the point is, I still like your team a lot. And I especially like your team if LeBron is still capable of doing that because that wasn't vintage. That was, seriously, that was the best half of basketball I've ever seen him play. It's 30 points. That averages, that totaled 60 if you give.
You got to go back to that half, the first half that he played against Boston in Game 6. You got to go back to something like that, Skip. But 12 of 14, Skip.
12 of 14. The game still had magnitude to it because it was really for the 5 spot, basically. It was crucial to the ultimate resting of LeBron James. It's a pay me now, pay me later game. And yet I stepped away from it. Shannon, while it was happening, I couldn't see it coming because at halftime, I mentally wrote the game off. And I was like, God, I have to stay up and watch this because we want to go to sleep because we got to get up early.
Skip, I saw no indication that this was even possible. Now, I know the stats, what LeBron had done in back-to-back games. He was averaging like almost 35 points a game. But I was like, oh, that was wishful thinking. The man had 3 points. He was 1 for 6.
They're down 19.
They're down 19.
What?
So I'm not thinking anything, okay. And then all of a sudden he get a 3 to go.
Shannon, he played a half of basketball with no rebounds.
None.
0 rebounds? You turned it over 4 careless times. They were like out of it turnovers. And you scored 3 points to 4 turnovers. When have you ever seen that from LeBron? That's got to be the worst half of basketball he's ever played.
I think so too, Skip. And plus, he was very, very tentative. Skip, he took 1 shot in the first quarter. I mean, he had 2 points in the first quarter. So I'm like, bro, I mean, hey, okay, I understand that you want to get the guys going, but, bro,
all right,
this ain't the game. The Clippers ain't the game to get everybody going. I'm going to get myself going. Y'all follow.
So what did you force Ty Lue to do in the second half? You forced him to play Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Load Management.
Played 43 minutes.
You played him the whole way. You right? Didn't you play him just about – well, you played him the whole second half. You played him every single minute of the second half, right? All 24. So – and he doesn't do that much because he's kind of coasting a little bit because I think he's afraid of his balky knee. He takes 6 total shots and makes 2. He scores – 8 total points? Okay, so he scored 8 points in the second half. He wasn't the reason that they kept fighting you back, right?
No, that was Norman Powell, Bones Highland, and Terrence Mann.
Okay. So the point is, Kawhi tried a lot in the second half to defend LeBron James, and I got to tell you, he couldn't defend him. Okay, well, that should serve you well going forward.
When LeBron says, you know what, when he doesn't settle, he said, I'm going to the paint. I'm going to the rim.
Okay. Which is why, help me out. I'm looking at this. Okay, so you won the second half by 12, and I'm looking at points in the paint. You outscored them in the paint, right? 54 to 46 in the paint. You can build on that, right? Look at second chance points. They're on a lot scored, but it's 14 to 8 in favor of the Lakers.
Right.
Well, how did you trail by 19 at half? It's because LeBron played but didn't show up, right? He just wasn't there. And trust me, this team feeds off his energy.
Yeah.
Everybody looks to him to set the tone.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he has to score. It's just the way, it's his body language. And his body language was, I'm out of it.
Right.
Okay? So they were out of it. AD kind of feeds off him. He was out of it.
Right.
And then here came LeBron. And it wasn't until this morning that I realized the magnitude of his achievement in the second half, because it was happening quietly, because it seemed like they were never really in the game.
Right.
They cut it to 7.
Yeah, I was walking the third. I was like, man, he got 16. I was like, damn, I sure wish you could have got like 8 in the first half. In the first half.
Yeah, in the
and
first
then
half.
he follows that up with a 14 of a perfect shooting in the fourth quarter, 5 of 5.
Okay? You out-rebounded them.
You did.
Okay?
You did.
44-38. My point is, all my takeaways from this are plus, pro. I like, for your sake, what I saw. I like your team just because I like what Rob Pelinka did at the trade deadline. The pieces fit.
I'm not concerned about LeBron.
Yep.
The only thing that concerns me is which Anthony Davis. Which am I going to get, the Olajuwon, or I'm going to get the DeAndre Jordan? Which one am I going to get, Skip?
Yeah. Well, if LeBron can keep playing like he did last night, that won't always matter.
Yeah, but still, Skip, but I need his presence. I need his force.
No, I got it. And he can play with big-time force.
Skip, he had like the 3-4 games where he had like averaging 39 points a game and like 15 rebounds.
Yeah.
He still has the most 35-15 games in the NBA this year.
He does.
So Skip, we know what he can do. We just need to see it more often.
Yeah. The only thing you lost last night was controlling of your fate.
Right.
Now you got to lean on Golden State or lean on Sacramento to beat Golden State, right?
I think they could do that. It's like a server. I shouldn't have to ask my server to fill up my water, my glass.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to ask AD to give me what I know he can give me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about as simple as water in a glass.
Yeah. I mean, excuse me, can I have some more water? I just took $5 off your tip. Because I had to ask for something I shouldn't have to ask for. Yeah. Now, do you want to get a thank you? Or do you want me to put a little extra something on the card for you?
Yeah. All I want is a little more Diet Dew.
Nah, nobody have no Diet Dew at no restaurant.
They don't.
I know they don't.
Nobody does.
Well, hopefully we will have more flowing on this show as we work our way into the playoffs. Yeah. So, guys, I'm ready. I am here for it. Gentlemen, just to recap, Team Blazers and Kings left for the Warriors, and Suns and Jazz left for the Lakers.
We got
All right, Russell Westbrook. Whew. Do you think he helped make the Clippers make a deep playoff push? Let's discuss one of your favorite topics. That's next. You're on Undisputed. Russell Westbrook, he gets the win over LeBron and the Lakers last night. Yep, you know it. He made sure to let them know by making gestures and pointing at LeBron after made shots. Westbrook finished with 14 points, but he only played a little over 5 minutes in the third quarter, and he sat for the entire fourth. Shannon, how far can the Clippers go with Russell Westbrook as their starting point guard?
Jim, before I answer that, today is April 6th, which is my big brother's birthday. And I want to say happy birthday, big brother. You know I love you. A lot of what you see the man before you today is because of his guidance. And I know you're watching the show. You even postponed going out to play golf to watch the show.
Oh,
so
cool.
I love you, and happy birthday.
And I worked with your brother at ESPN, and I love him too. And happy birthday, big brother.
You'll love him more than me, though. Yeah, I think you love me more than you love him.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll take that.
I'll buy that.
Skip, honestly, I don't think they can get out of the West without Paul George. Playoffs are all about matchup. How well do you match up with someone? Russ got the revenge that he was seeking.
Yeah.
He circled this game probably the moment that, okay, I'm going to the Clippers.
Okay.
He circled that game.
Yep.
Ultimately, Skip, he had scored 10 of his 14 points in the first quarter. 3 of his 4 assists was in the fourth quarter. And when he checked out of the game at 6:47 left in the third, he never saw the floor again. So the question is, how much is he going to play? How much is he going to be allowed to play? That was the question. Because Bones Highland has credited Russ and his guidance and having him in his ear has helped him a lot. They let the young guys take it down the stretch. Eric Gordon, when he checked out, he only played a little over 23 minutes. Russ played a little under 21 minutes. When those guys checked out, The young guys took it from there.
They did.
And you mentioned Kawhi played 43 minutes. I don't remember the last time Kawhi played 43 minutes in a regular season game.
Well, that's how seriously they took this game. But go ahead.
A game that didn't end in overtime.
Yeah.
So for me, Skip, when Russ gets it going early, he can be an asset. The thing is when he struggles late and he tries to get it going by shooting the basketball, and he can shoot the other team in the game and shoot his team out of the game. I don't believe they can go anywhere without Paul George because I think Ty Lue will minimize Russ's involvement in the game as the game gets deep into the playoffs.
You just said a mouthful that Darvin Ham would say, good luck with that, right? Okay, I'm going to give you that Russ got the first laugh last night. I do not believe he will get the last laugh.
Okay.
I want to compliment Russell Westbrook for the way he comported himself last night from jump. That was as mature a performance as I've ever seen from him because he was clearly on fire with revenge to get even with LeBron for wanting him and then wanting him out of there.
Right.
And Russ had a hard time as a Laker. It was a long, hard run for him. It was a dream come true turned nightmare. And I did feel for him last night because he has found a home away from home, still in L.A., with the team in the basement, the stepchildren, the Clippers. And yet he channeled his anger from the start. And if we could see the 4 shots he made, he makes these in a row. This man is a poor shooter. This man was...
I couldn't tell.
He came in ranked 148th in three-point shooting in the NBA. And these we're seeing his first 4 shots. But those 3-point shots, they just took my breath away because to LeBron's credit, you just ignore. I mean, you give him the Caitlin Clark. You just give him the back of your hand, say, shoot those. And then, of course, he's going to rub it in.
Yeah.
And he rubbed it in with gestures to LeBron. And I think it didn't sink in for LeBron until halftime. He is showing me up by showing out. He's showing
I think probably what got LeBron is the pointing at.
Yeah,
he hit the shot.
No, he's doing several gestures at him, okay? So the point is, Ty Lue is a more seasoned head coach, obviously, than Darvin
He got a chip.
He's got a chip.
He's been to finals.
Yes, he's been there and done all that.
Played in the NBA
Highly
finals.
respected.
Run as a player.
Got it. Darvin is a first-year head coach.
Yeah.
I think he's doing very well. I know he's had his rotational problems, and Laker Nation takes issue with him on a nightly Twitter basis.
Yes.
I got it. Sometimes you're out of your mind.
But, Skip, you remember when Ty Lue first got the job from David Blatt, and they were drawing a play, and LeBron was trying to talk, Ty Lue said, I got this.
He did say that.
If he'll tell LeBron James I got this, he will sit Russ on that bench.
The Lakers should have hired him.
They should have.
They should have hired him.
They should have.
No offense to, no disrespect.
I don't care about no disrespect. I don't care about no Vogel.
Okay.
I don't care about Darvin Ham. Ty Lue should have been the coach of the Lakers.
He should have been. But he is in such control of this team that maybe he can get away with play him early, let him start, hope he can set a tone. But as soon as Russ started to show him in the second quarter, he was turning back into the turnover machine that he has been, leading the league in turnovers per 36 minutes.
Right.
He got to 3 by halftime, and Ty Lue said, you know what? I have seen enough. He shot a second quarter air ball. Ty's like, I've seen enough. He let him have a little bit of run in the third quarter. He did not see the light of play in the fourth quarter. Will Russ sit still for that in playoff series, playing first quarter, maybe a little second, maybe a touch in the third, and then sitting in the fourth? Okay, in Lakerland, he would not sit still for that. He made waves.
Well, I think, Skip, the thing is he came in and the Lakers came with a different set of expectations.
Yep.
I think his expectations are different for the Clippers, and I think the Clippers' expectations of him are different.
Maybe.
What causes disappointment is expectations. If you don't have any, how are you disappointed, Skip? You didn't get the job when you didn't expect it. If you go, man, I'm going to get this fad. You put on your Sunday clothes. You had a great interview. You have an expectation, an anticipation that you're going to get the job. And when you don't, you disappointed, you let down. He came to Skip. His dream was to always put on that purple and gold.
It was.
The Laker fans like, oh, man, we got Russ. He coming home. And so they're like, okay, we need you to, play like the Russ.
And then it got to the point he's starting to shoot, and they're like, no.
So he goes with lower expectations from himself and from the Clippers.
Good luck.
The change of scenery seems to have done Russell Westbrook good. Guys, coming up next, let's talk about another player who wants a little revenge. Should Chiefs fans be worried about Tyreek Hill's return as a Dolphin this upcoming season? Let's dive in on the other side of this break.
And I won't back down.
Tyreek Hill is circling dates on the calendar. He's ready to face his old team in the Chiefs when he returns to Arrowhead this season. Tyreek is warning Chiefs fans he's going to be their, quote, worst enemy when the teams face off. All right, Shannon, do you like or have a problem with Tyreek's comments?
Bro, let it go. It's over. Like you say, you make 30 M's a year. You quick to bring that up. Kansas City wasn't willing to meet your demands. They traded you. You're happy. You an all-pro. I know it hurts. They won the Super Bowl without you. Everybody thought they were going to take us. Oh, they're not going to be the same. Tyreek gone. Ain't no way Mahomes going to be the same. Travis Kelce going to get all the attention. And I know you wish Mahomes well. You wish Travis well.
Yep.
You want to see your guys skip. You want to see them do well. But you ain't want to see them win no championship. And they won that without you. So anybody tells you they leave, a person leaves, and the year you leave, the team that you left win the championship, that thing hurts. Let it go. I mean, you wanted to be a Dolphin. This is where I wanted to come. I wanted to play with Tua. You've taken shot after shot at Mahomes. Tua's the most accurate quarterback that I played with, yada, yada, yada. Now you're on the thing talking about I really wanted to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You don't know. All you know you wanted was you wanted your money. Drew Rosenhaus was able to find you a landing spot. They got you your money.
Yep.
Brother, let this go. I mean, why you, first of all, the Chiefs, given what transpired with you in college, the Chiefs gave you an opportunity.
They did.
You went from a gadget guy, punt return, kick return guy, to one of the most dangerous weapons that we've ever seen in the NFL.
He is the most to me. Yep.
Come on, Reek. Come on, Reek. You better than this, man. Let this go.
So, Shannon, what's the oldest cliche in the world? Money can't buy happiness. He didn't just get a bag, he got the bag.
Yes.
He got $72 million guaranteed.
Yes.
Guaranteed. That is what you call generational wealth.
Yes.
God bless you,
Bless
man.
you.
Okay, you're only 29 years of age. By the way, with Tua last year, for the most part, he put up career numbers in every category.
Yes.
You did sneak into the playoffs at 9-8. You did go play at the Bills and played them pretty close. It was 34-31, and you caught 7 balls for 69 yards, which led your team in that game.
Right.
So everything smacks of great, great, great.
Yes.
But it's clear to me, and I listened to the interview, he's kind of chuckling when he's saying Chiefs fans better fear me coming back. He just misses the hell out of being a Chief. He does.
He misses Mahomes.
He misses Mahomes.
No matter how much you say, Mahomes is the most accurate quarterback, you know good and well Tua can't hold a candle to Mahomes, boy.
I think he misses Andy. I think he misses playing opposite Kelce.
Yeah.
It just, and was he happy for them winning a championship? Sure. But I get what you're saying. In the end, it's like,
They did that without me.
They did it without me. And I didn't get to do that with them because I think he knows in his heart of hearts, the odds on him winning a championship with Tua at quarterback are not very good. Okay?
Let's give this guy, you in a relationship, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. Oh, she went and got him. God, why you couldn't get something? Why you do that? Or why'd you go get with her? How did you get with her? Ooh, you outpunted your coverage with her. Don't worry about what I did.
Because it smacks of, in the end, you took your bag out of spite. You wouldn't pay me.
Right.
Okay.
And it was willing to make you, like I think he said, I think because he was on my podcast, I think he said the money, the guaranteed money wasn't what Miami was really.
It's hard to go to 72 million for a receiver.
Yes, you got that. But here's the thing, Skip. Kansas City didn't have to do anything. He was under contract.
No.
I mean, think about it. Let that sink in for a second. They said, okay, you know what, Tyreek, we can't meet that. You know what, we're going to acquiesce. We're going to meet your demands. We'll move you somewhere that will give you the money. Yeah. Andy Reid and the Chiefs didn't have to do a thing.
They did.
He was under contract. What was he going to do? Sit out and not make the $15, $18 million that he was going to make?
Yeah.
Of course not. Andy did him a solid.
He did. And I believed that Patrick would miss Tyreek. And guess what?
He did. He just said, We'll be fine. It's just going to look different. Now, fantasy owners,
No, I got it.
it's going to be bad for you. But we're going to be okay. Who complains about making $30 million a year,
NFL
Skip?
schedule. Ooh, not me.
No, not
I'll take
anybody.
it. We'll get that NFL schedule, guys, in about a month, probably somewhere around May 11th. Gentlemen, let's talk a little golf. Tiger, how do you think he's going to finish in his 25th Masters? Let's predict when we come back. We have a Tiger Woods Masters update now. Tiger currently 2 over through 6 holes, tied for 34th. Shannon, what do you expect from Tiger this week?
Skip, he's played just once since July before the Masters, and he looks like he's played just once since the Masters. And it's going to be tough, Skip. I mean, golf is a game I don't play, but my brother tells me you got to play it all the time. And I just don't know how Tiger can just walk in off his couch and think he can win. He'll probably be +4 at the end of the day. It's going to be very tough for him to make the cut.
He's played there 22 times as a professional. Mm-hmm. Nobody, no human being knows this golf course better than this man does. He will make this cut because that's just what he does is make the cut. And that's an achievement at age 47 when he's already talking about turning 50 and playing on the Champions Tour and getting a ride in a cart.
Skip, making the cut is great for you and I.
I know, I got it.
But not for him.
Okay, and Saturday the weather is supposed to turn very cold,
yes,
which is going to play hell with his battered body.
Yes,
he will not function
back,
well. It'll
leg.
all go. But I still believe he's got the back nine today to redeem himself on, and I think he will, and he will make this cut.
What do you think the cut's going to be? Plus?
What score?
Yeah, what's the score?
I don't know. It depends on the wind. I don't know how the scores are going so far. Right. But the point is, whatever it takes.
He got out early, so we'll see what happens late this afternoon.
He's off to an inauspicious start.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
You need some confidence.
Yeah.
We'll unpack it all tomorrow, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Great show, though, guys. 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 Show, though, guys.